Finales are hard to pull off, as we've seen in some shows lately like Peacemaker and Alien Earth, but the Task Season 1 finale might be one of the better ones I've seen in years. It gave us heartbreak, closure, and some of the most emotional scenes of the series. But to really appreciate it, we need to unlock these 5 keys that tie this episode and the whole season together. Welcome to The Real Spot. I'm Bobby Foster. Let's dive in. Let's start with Sam, because his story does not end with happiness. Or does it? In Task, people are caught up in these horrible systems that they can't really do anything about. And they get there either through accident or by choice. But once they're in, it seems like they can't get out of it. Like Grosso getting involved in his double agent life. Like Robbie going too far with the robberies. And I believe Sam is stuck in the system, but it's just not his fault. Sam has been caught in a cycle of trauma since the beginning. Abused by his parents, getting kidnapped, finally finding a home with Tom, and then being forced to leave that too. He's just a victim of circumstances beyond his control. It's such a tragic story because even though Tom is trying to do right by Sam and make the right choices, it's not a choice anyone will know is the right one until years later when you see the outcome of said choice. And Tom making that choice to give Sam to another family, it may be the better choice for Sam in the long run, but it also adds to the trauma he already had. So was it the right choice? And that's what makes choices so hard sometimes. We can't predict the future, and sometimes it makes making a choice seem impossible. We've all been there, but at the end of the day, we still have to make a choice. And when Tom lets him go, it's heartbreaking. But it also mirrors Tom's larger struggle. When do you hold on and when do you let go? I just hope Sam ends up okay and that he's able to heal, move forward, and finally start a better life. But do you think this is more of a tragedy for Sam or a happy ending? Let me know your thoughts below. But when it comes to Tom's arc this episode, he has to decide whether to keep clinging to the past or to finally move forward. One of the most powerful moments in the finale is when Tom repaints Ethan's room. Earlier, he told Sarah that when he adopted Ethan and Emily, he was advised to let them decorate their own rooms.
When Ethan and Em came home for the first time, the social worker encouraged us to let them decorate their own bedrooms, so they felt like they had a place that was their own.
So they buy things for Sam and they redecorate Ethan's room. But when Sam leaves, he decides to repaint the room and move out all of the decorations. A blank slate. And that's perfect symbolism. The whole season, Tom was trying to hold on to this idea of who his family was. But in that moment, he accepts that the only way to heal is to let go. And we see this transfer of him trying to hold on to letting go also in that moment that he let Sam go with the other family. It mirrors an earlier scene where we see them throwing a party when Ethan and Emily come into their house. In this episode, we see them having somewhat of a celebration when Sam finally gets to be with his family when they let him go. So in one instance, he's gaining his family. In the other instance, he's letting them go. Some seasons of our life are about gaining things, and some seasons of our life are about losing them. And Tom finally learns that it's his time to let some things go. I'm sure we've all experienced that, and it's a lot easier said than done. There's so much grief involved, so much forgiveness involved, so much patience that needs to be involved. And in order for Tom to fully heal and move forward, there was still one thing he had to face: Ethan. This is where the finale hit its emotional peak for me. Tom's courtroom monologue wasn't just powerful writing. It gave Ethan's story nuance, which I desperately wanted and asked for in my last video. We learned that he snapped when he didn't get the medication he needed because the supply ran out due to the pandemic.
But the pandemic hit hard. There was a Risperdal shortage. The voices returned, angrier than before, and on May 15th, those poisonous voices told him to kill Susan.
And as someone who lives with a chronic illness and needs a lot of medicines, I resonated with this story a lot. The pandemic didn't just harm people directly through the virus. It disrupted lives in countless ways. So I'm glad they showed that in this episode. But Mark Ruffalo's performance just shocked me. I didn't know he had that in him. The scene was around 5 minutes and it didn't feel like that at all. The range of emotions and the way that he subtly expressed them, I am sensing Emmy nominations in his future. Because when Tom looks at Ethan and just tells him he forgives him, that he doesn't want him to feel that shame anymore, that got me.
Ethan, I don't want you to live with the shame anymore. Ethan, look at me. Ethan, please. Son, please look at me. I forgive you. I love you.
Tom gave Ethan the opportunity to not be like a vagrant bird. If you remember Tom's conversation with Robbie in the car, he told him that a vagrant bird is one that strays too far from home and can't make its way back. Ethan symbolized that, like a lot of other characters in the show, but Tom allows him to come back home and not stay in isolation.
I'm here today to let you know, Ethan, that when that day comes, I'll be ready. Come straight home.
Just a beautiful way to wrap up that metaphor. And not only that, it ties back to this season's biggest theme, which also gets directly brought up in this episode: penance versus forgiveness. Tom chose forgiveness, and in doing that, he finally gave Ethan and himself a way back home. But what about you? Would you have been able to forgive Ethan in these circumstances? Leave a comment below. And by the way, if you love talking about Task and other shows but feel like you have no one to talk about it with, go ahead and join the Real Spot Discord. We love talking about shows and would love to have you a part of those conversations. But while Tom chose forgiveness, Grasso wanted penance. Grasso's story might be one of the most tragic of the whole season. We learned that he fell into crime not due to greed. It was out of desperation to take care of his sister and his nephews. And desperate times call for desperate measures. So he made some terrible choices that ended up in Lizzie's death haunting him. In the finale, he decides to turn himself in. It was the only way he could think of to absolve himself from his guilt. But instead, one thing led to another, and he ended up getting shot by Jason while trying to warn Maeve. When Grasso ends up in the hospital, he asks Tom if he'll give him penance.
Hey, boss.
Yeah.
Aren't you gonna give me my penance?
I never gave anyone penance. People beat themselves up enough on their own.
Which is a synopsis of the entire show. I really enjoy these religious conversations between Grasso and Tom. It's one of my favorite parts of the season. These characters are trapped in cycles of guilt, shame, and self-punishment, and only forgiveness can help heal that. But where will Grasso find that forgiveness? Forgiveness was something he was questioning Tom about in the last episode, and I assume it's something he's going to continue looking for. But is he too far gone? Will he be able to find his way home? Will his future be doomed? Or can he find that forgiveness somewhere? Which brings us to someone who seems like they actually have hope in their future. Coming into this episode, Maeve was left with the burden and the blessing of the money that Robbie left her. She struggles with what to do about the money. Keep it or turn it in and walk away from the past forever. Right after Tom saves her from Jason, he sees the drug money in her bag, and instead of confiscating it, he lets her keep it. And then he addresses it later with Kathy saying wisdom is knowing what to overlook. I love that line. I like how Tom's character consistently puts family and children over everything else. At least he tries. In this episode, he admitted to Emily that he was not being a good father lately, but even that awareness comes from him always trying to do his best and putting his family first. By the end, Maeve chooses to keep the money and start a new life. Likely in Canada, I'm assuming, following Robbie's plan and taking his kids with her. She always said that she wanted to leave, and now she's getting that opportunity. It's just not the way she imagined, but it is a step forward. And I'm hoping that her and the kids can find somewhere where they're just happy. Just like I'm hoping that same thing for Sam and for Tom, for everybody. I'm hoping everybody ends up good. And that's the connective tissue of this finale. Moving on. Kathy says the higher ups are just happy to be done with the case. Maeve decides to leave and move forward, leaving everything else behind. Tom forgives Ethan and is ready to face that blank slate in front of him. Even Sam, in his own tragic way, is forced to keep moving. Every character has to let go of the past for a chance at a good future. So those are the 5 keys that unlock the Task finale. To me, this wasn't just a satisfying ending. It was a story about cycles, guilt versus forgiveness, holding on versus letting go, and the tragedy of people caught in broken systems. The moment that stuck with me the most was Tom forgiving Ethan. It showed that healing doesn't come from penance, it comes from grace. But what about you? Was the finale as powerful for you as it was for me? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to have a deeper talk about it, go ahead and join the Real Spot Discord. It's been fun and an amazing time making these videos for Task this season. I really appreciate you watching, and until the next show we all watch together, I'll see you.